There's a very important and valuable government benefit that Americans have access to, but it's oftentimes not understood and miscommunicated about, which lead people to foregoing big benefits, risking your retirement savings, and also impacting your healthcare rights. I'm talking about Medicare, and in this video, I want to walk through the number one thing that people miss, which is why they are jeopardizing their benefit, and I want to help you get the most out of Medicare benefits. I'm Emily with the Medicare Coach, an independent Medicare consultant, helping our clients both navigate the Medicare government rules, but also all the insurance company options to help you do what's right and best for you. And I will share some resources down below to help you easily make your right decision. So the goal in this video is to help you know the one important thing to do, which is getting Medicare right the first time. And by doing that, you will protect your day-to-day money, you'll protect your retirement savings, and you'll also protect having the best healthcare options available to you. Before we kick this off, I want to be clear about two things. Number one, Medicare is not Medicaid. They are very different. Also, Medicare is not Social Security. There are different benefits, and people tend to join them at different points in time. So what is Medicare? Medicare is the health insurance that covers Americans, usually at least 65 and over. So once you're 65, most Americans qualify for Medicare. Now, Medicare rules say by the time you're 65, you must either be on Medicare or on an employer health insurance plan that meets Medicare rules. And if you do not meet these requirements, you can face lifetime penalties, which can add up very quickly. You can also have a lapse in coverage. The reality is when it comes to Medicare, most people are educated by the insurance companies. And while the insurance companies have an important role in the system, they're not usually looking out for individuals' best interests or educating them on how the actual government rules work. The reality is Medicare is full of a bunch of paperwork, a bunch of rules when it comes to Medicare. And when people don't understand how this works, it can lead to, again, big mistakes that we can't always undo. So the first step of getting Medicare right when you first join is knowing when to join Medicare to avoid penalties and also save yourself money. Now, I was working with Shelly a few months ago, and she got this letter from Blue Cross Blue Shield. And the letter says, our records indicate you'll be 65 as of your next birthday. For complete coverage, it is important that you enroll in both Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. Members who do not enroll in Medicare Part B will have additional costs at Blue Cross Blue Shield, will not pay the amount that Medicare would have paid. Now, this is a pretty scary letter, right? But when she shared this with me, I said, that's interesting because I know that the plan that you have, it meets Medicare rules. So why are they sending you this letter? So Shelly and I called Blue Cross Blue Shield together. We said, what's going on? And they said, oh, that's from our marketing department. Let me get you to the right people. When we got to the right people, they said, no, you do not need to join Medicare. Had she followed this letter, it would have cost her over $50,000 and would have easily impacted her healthcare options when she does leave this company. So my point is this, while the insurance companies have their own motives, it's not always best in the individual's interest. Medicare, again, says by the time you're 65, you must either be on Medicare or on an employer health insurance plan that met Medicare rules. Shelly was on an employer plan that met Medicare rules, so she was better off delaying Medicare. Now, the thing is, in order for it to meet Medicare rules, there are 3 requirements. Number 1, you must have employer health insurance, right? Marketplace plans, Obamacare plans, private plans do not meet Medicare rules. Also, the company must have 20 employees or more. Now, if you are disabled and joining Medicare before 65, it must have 100 employees or more. And finally, the employer's prescription drug plan must be creditable. So if your employer plan meets all of these rules, you can absolutely delay Medicare. But if your employer plan does not meet this rule, then you must join Medicare at 65. Now, just because your employer plan meets the rule, it does not mean that you should stay on your employer plan and instead of joining Medicare. Many times Medicare can be your cheaper option, and the tipping point for most people is around $300 per month. If your employer plan is more than that, you're likely better off on Medicare, but you also get the out-of-pocket costs. So again, just because you can delay Medicare does not mean that you should. I've had clients save over $18,000 a year by simply joining Medicare and leaving their employer plan. Now, there are a few things to be aware of when it comes to this rule. Again, number one, not all health insurance plans meet Medicare rules. So to be clear, Medicaid does not meet Medicare rules. Obamacare Marketplace does not meet Medicare rules. Private plans, Medi-Share plans, any of those things do not meet Medicare rules, nor does COBRA. You must be in an active employer plan, and it must have 20 employees or more, okay? Number two, if you have a health savings account, it can impact certain things. So if you're on an employer plan that meets Medicare rules, and it's cheaper than Medicare, you will likely want to delay all parts of Medicare because joining Medicare Part A can impact your HSA tax benefits. Additionally, Medicare has high income penalties. The more money that you make, the more money that you'll pay. The highest amount of income penalties is $500 a month, but again, it depends on the income that you're making as to how much you'll pay for Medicare. So things like Roth conversions, things like high income in general, things like severance packages such as selling businesses, those can all impact what you ultimately pay for Medicare. So just be aware of how Medicare is impacted by your overall income. Now, step number two of making it right the first time is you must decide which program fits you best once you initially join Medicare. Medicare Supplement, which is also called Medigap plans, have a guarantee issuance rule. And in most states, you are only guaranteed one shot to make this right decision. So we have to get your initial decision right because we can't always switch everything in the future. I want to share a story with you. I got this email from Nora a few years ago, and Nora wrote to me saying my father is on a Texas Plus HMO Classic Medicare Advantage plan that is not in network with MD Anderson Cancer Center, where his oncologist and family would like for him to go for a second opinion on inoperable metastasized colon cancer. PCP office called to say he was not in network. Is there any way for us to protest this so the insurance allow this visit? Please help with any guidance or direct us to other resources. Thank you, Nora. I hate getting these emails, and I get them way too frequently. The reality is Nora's dad was not told the whole story on Medicare and now is in a really bad spot. If he wants to go to MD Anderson, he'll have to pay for most of it out of his own pocket. So it's not a great place to be. But the thing is, this is a very easily to avoid situation had he known what the rules were. So at a high level, what I want you to be aware of is that there's two paths when it comes to Medicare. There's original Medicare and there's Medicare Advantage. We tend to see ads about Medicare Advantage. When you're on original Medicare, you're gonna have A and B, you're gonna have D and a supplement, and if you're on Advantage, you're gonna have A and B, and it's gonna be privatized and all put together. The key thing is this though, okay? It is very easy. If you first join original Medicare, it is very easy to go back to Medicare Advantage. But if you first join Medicare Advantage, you're not guaranteed to go back to original Medicare. And the thing is, when people who are sick, or people who have higher incomes, or people who have the best healthcare, you tend to want to be in original Medicare. So if you join Medicare when you first are healthy, you could be stuck for the rest of your life in most states. You have one time to get this thing right. So we have to get it right the first time. We have to pick the right program when you first join Medicare. When you first join Medicare, there's a 6-month window that you are guaranteed any Medicare supplement plan, no matter what your pre-existing health conditions are. But once this window expires in most states, you are not guaranteed to join a new plan, switch companies, switch letters, any of those things. So when we first join Medicare, we have to get this decision right the first time. I will say most of you in this room will want to have a Medicare supplement plan. The open enrollment that applies to October period is only for Part D and Advantage. It does not apply to Medicare supplement. So I know I covered a lot. There's a lot going on here, and it's kind of enough to kind of make you a little bit crazy, right? So let me just simplify one thing for you. The number one regret that I see people make when it comes to Medicare is initially joining a Medicare Advantage plan without understanding how all the rules work. Once you're in Advantage, it's hard to get out of it. So if I have any takeaway from today is please be cautious around Medicare Advantage plans because it can impact, again, your savings, it can impact the providers that you see, and it can overall kind of handcuff you for the rest of your life when it comes to your healthcare options. Okay? Now, I want to do one quick bonus. For those of you who are already on Medicare, you're not done, right? I like to work with people when they first join Medicare as we can do a lot more for you, but you're not done. So if you're already on Medicare, there are some important things to be aware of. And that is during Medicare's annual election period or Medicare's open enrollment period, you have a period of time where you're guaranteed to change your Medicare Part D or your Medicare Advantage plan, no matter what your pre-existing health conditions are. So as of October 1st, we get all the plans for the upcoming calendar year. And then from October 15th through December 7th, you can make changes. No matter if you're on original Medicare or Medicare Advantage, all of you should be reviewing at least some part of your Medicare plan during this time because there are so many changes that happen to Medicare plans every single year. Now, people often ask me, but Emily, which is the best plan? And I say, the thing is, when it comes to Medicare plans, it's like a big game of cups. There's no good cup. There's no bad cup, but there is a cup that fits you best, fits your doctor's best, fits your medications, where you live, your priorities, all of those things. So every year we must find that new plan that does fit you best to have that best health insurance for the upcoming year. So during this time, if you are currently on Advantage and you have health issues, you have pre-existing health conditions, your best option now is let's look for a different Advantage plan that might cover you better, okay? If you do not have health issues and you think original Medicare could be a better option for you, this is your time to get out of Advantage and opt into original Medicare. You will have to go through medical underwriting, but if you're healthy, you should pass. Now, if you were on original Medicare, we need to review your Medicare Part D drug plan, okay? So if you're on Medicare, we want to review your Medicare Part D drug plan. If you are currently on original Medicare, please beware of all of these advertisements. You will get bombarded shortly with all the ads everywhere. And if you're on original Medicare, it can be enticing to go to Medicare Advantage, but think about it before you make that final. I had a client the other year who did this. They thought they were overpaying for their Medicare. Their friends convinced them that Advantage would be cheaper for them. By going to Advantage, they won cost themselves over $10,000 a year. They lost their preferred doctor, and now they're stuck. So the ads look really sexy. Please be careful, please be cautious, and do what's right and best for you. And you got this. Medicare can be great, but make sure you know when to join Medicare and pick that right program when you first join Medicare, because we can't always do it in the future. All right, here's to helping you easily make your right Medicare decision.